are in an attic. No AC call. Gonna be 90 degrees tomorrow, about 90 on Saturday, then be in the 60s next week. So we've gotten into this up and down mid-Atlantic, southeastern United States weather pattern, heading towards summer. Actually, we got a night it's gonna be down to around 35 degrees next week. So anyway, it is what it is. But this is a house I did a video I was at Labor Day weekend last year on a Friday, and both of these units, slab house, 2 Goodmans, one upstairs, one downstairs, and he got lucky. It was Friday afternoon at 4:30, Labor Day weekend, and he had 2 bad capacitors on his outdoor units that were reason he didn't have any cooling. Now he just came up here and turned the thermostat on, and nothing's running, nothing's coming on. He changed the batteries in the thermostat. I don't have any power going to that upstairs thermostat. I believe this is going to be our upstairs unit because that trap has no water in it, and this one does, and that's supposed to have a cap on it. This is a heat pump, so that should be capped so you're not sucking air back in there to drain like it's supposed to. We'll deal with that later. So let's see what we got going on. I'm guessing, I thought maybe I'd get up here and find a clogged drain line, but that's not the case. So let me turn the light up just a hair, baby. A little bit more light up here. Probably going to be a blown fuse. Well, it could be a bad float switch. There's no water in the pan, but I have had these float switches go wonky before and just open when they're not supposed to be open. It's right down there on the corner of the pan. So we'll get over here, see what we got on there. Before I take a door off or do anything, the breaker in the garage was not tripped. So it could be a bad thermostat. You take the batteries out of it, the display goes away, and when you snap it back on the wall, it does not come on. So I don't think it doesn't need batteries. But let's see if we've got 24 volts. And as you can see right there, we have 0, no voltage. So more than likely we have a blown fuse. So let me get the door off and start looking for this circuit and find out. I'm hoping if the fuse is popped or the transformer's not blown, it's a fuse. I'm hoping it's going to be our contactor outside. We'll check that, but let's get this door off. So electric screwdriver, these little vessels, once you break the screw loose, where you don't need a lot of torque, you break it free, it brings that screw right out. The reason I'm using that is I left my drill in the back seat of the truck. So set that over there. Move it over here. Bring my light over here. And let's see what we've got. So there's our transformer up there at the top. So let's check the voltage. Be careful. In fact, there's a reason I bought these twist cards. I was going to put them to use. Alright, so we do have 248 going to our transformer. And let's see, where's the fuse at? It's going to be back there on that board. Way back there. So I'm pretty sure it's popped. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull the disconnect out and then reach back in there. Grab my fuse, and yep, it is popped. I don't know if you can see it, but it's popped. So let's get a fuse put in there, and then we'll start checking our circuits and see which one is popping it. They're breaking the contactor outside with the float switch not R. So I'm going to disconnect my thermostat wires right here first, and then we'll put a fuse in it. Okay, so I've got a new fuse in there, back on the board back there, and I'm going to use my little short pro tool to do this because I don't have any more 3-amp fuses in my bag. I've got like 10 out in the truck, but I only keep one in my little thing there. I used the 5 the other day, so let's check real quick and confirm we've got our 24 volts now coming off the transformer. I don't know if you can read the meter or not, but it is. Ooh, and I did. Oh, let me put the disconnect back in. Hey, if you want to get 24 volts off your transformer, make sure your disconnect is in there. That's a big step in that process. So now I'll turn the light back on there. All right, so we got 24 volts, 28 volts, whatever. So now let's do a little check in here. So first thing I'm gonna do is see if I got a direct short on my R circuit. Look right on up to that, and I do not. So far, so good. Now I'm going to keep using that R to check these other circuits. First one I'm going to do is the blower. See if we can get some airflow up here. It's not that bad up here. It's probably 80 degrees, 85 degrees up here in the attic. It's not too bad. It's 4 o'clock. 4 o'clock in the afternoon again. This guy always calls at the last minute. All right, so let's cut our fan on. All right, no light. I think there's a time delay possibly. Yep, on the board. All right. So we have ruled out our fan circuit. Now I'm going to energize the reversing valve. No light, so hopefully our solenoid power reversing valve is good. Now we're going to do our Y circuit. One of these is coming from the thermostat. This one here. Yellow wire coming off of that one is going right over here. I'm going to energize that. I could do it all the way through the float switch. This is the one coming back from the thermostat, and this is the one coming from the outdoor unit. So let's see what happens when we energize that. And didn't get anything, but I think the thermostat might have just came on. No, I'm disconnected from that. So I don't know why the blower came back on when I energized Y going outside. Check some voltage real quick. Unless it back feeds. Sometimes they'll back feed through the thermostat. You turn the blower on, same thing if you energize G sometimes. It'll back feed through your thermostat. So that's what's going on. Okay, so I've got my jumpers all hooked up. So this is my little jumper key. I don't need that piece of junk they sell on whatever it is. Anyway, so I've got Y, O, and G, and then we're gonna hook up 24 volts and see what happens. Heard the reversing valve click. Don't have a light. Blower's coming on, but the outdoor unit's not coming on. You're going to want to put my float switch wires together and bypass it basically. The outdoor unit is not coming on, so we may have a problem with our contactor out there. So let's go out there and look at the contactor real quick, and then we're going to turn everything on at the thermostat. Alright guys, so we're at the outdoor unit. Neighbor was talking to me when I was walking around here. She got two good ones. She said her capacitor just went out, and they have a elite service program with the Alphabet Company. What the hell, ARS. And they pay $38 a month, which times 10, that's $380. You're over $400 a year for two systems, and they come out twice a year. Basically gave me the same rundown of what we do for $255 a year. So she wants me to come give her a card when I leave, and they replaced her capacitor. Charged her like $500 for it. Excuse me. Yeah guys, you gotta be careful about those companies like that. As an investor that's happy when they bring in checks like that, stockholder somewhere. Anyway, I think I found our problem. If you look at that contactor right there, she is smoked. So we're gonna home it out real quick just to confirm that. I'm pretty sure that's gonna be our problem with our low voltage short. So let's get the wires off of it. I do have the disconnect already pulled out. Get my commons off the other side. And we will home our capacitor out, or our contactor out real quick. And see if I can get you a visual on that real quick. Get this angle back here, wedge that in there. See if I can hold this thing with my, oh, her unit just came on. That $500 capacitors working for her. Anyway, 2.3 on the contactor. Let me go quote him a contactor, and we'll get that thing changed out real quick. Alright guys, so we got the contactor swapped out right there. There's the old one right there. I did swap it out. I didn't want to record that because this is that Goodman with all the dadgum wires in here, and it's down at the bottom trying to get the wires out. It's one of those where you might get an F-bomb or something when it doesn't need to happen. So anyway, I got the contactor swapped out. That's the one that came out of it. See how it's all burned up? That was our low voltage short. I'm gonna let this thing run for a few minutes. Put some gauges on it. That line's already starting to get nice and cold. I did check the charge on this when I was here last August. It's a heat pump, so they made it through the winter without any other issues. I really don't want to hook up to it. I don't think I have a problem, but I'm gonna let it go, and I may put a clamp on there, see what that line temperature is, just as a fail safe. But anyway, low voltage short, no air conditioning. Check your contactor. Probably should check this first. Getting into the cooling season, you kind of start to get into that habit. Hey, I got a blown fuse in AC mode. Well, let me go out there and check the contactor first before I start looking everywhere else. But thought I would go through everything up there and double check all that and get the attic out of the way. And that contactor, guys. Anyway, appreciate you watching. This Goodman will hopefully get through another summer, along with that one over there, maybe those two over there, and all the other good ones and all the other houses that are in this neighborhood. Anyway guys, appreciate you watching. See you on the next one.